everybody, it's Terry with EatPlant-Based. We're just going live. Give you guys a minute to get on here, and we're going to be making Alfredo sauce today. So nobody's on just yet. Hopefully we will see some little icons coming up where you guys are going to make this with me. This Vitamix is all in. Yeah, here you come. Here comes somebody. Ooh, sorry, that's okay. And so this is in my way, but yeah, we've got somebody. Yeah. Hi guys. Oh yeah, we've got 6 coming on now. Hi. Hey everybody, are you excited about making Alfredo? Has anybody made this recipe before? Oh, Marley just did a low growl, so I'm not sure. But yeah, have you made this before, the Alfredo? We're gonna make it with cashews. Just curious. Guys, tell us where you're from and if you've made this before. If you want to start chiming in. Okay, watch live. Hey, I've got my sister's phone today so I can see comments. Oh, here we go. Give you guys a minute to get on here. Today, so I had it on. That's okay. So I can see. It's like a delay on this. All right, you guys are starting to get on. This is going to be a really quick recipe today. If you've made it before, you know it takes like 10 minutes. It's really simple. Sorry, Terry. I don't even think they can barely hear that. So, but yep. All right, guys, we're going to talk about pasta today and Alfredo sauce. So I'm glad you guys are starting to get in. We'll go ahead and get started. I hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. Thank you. Let's see who we've got on here. All right. Oh, hi. Hi, Deborah. Thank you. Deborah loves the recipes. And there's Leslie. And you have not made this one before, and you're from Florida. Awesome. Everybody's surprised how quick this is. There's Brenda Burnham. Made a different recipe that uses white beans instead of cashews. A lot of people substitute white beans in other recipes for cashews. I have not tried that with this one. It would make a different kind of sauce for sure, but it's still, hi, there's Diane Town from Arizona. And Pat Smith, I've seen you on here a number of times from Michigan. Okay, so this is going to be new for a lot of you guys who have not made it before. Is anybody making it with me? I just wondered if you've got your ingredients. I know somebody messaged me earlier and said they had their ingredients and they were ready to cook. So there's a couple of different ways, the options for making this, and we're going to go over each one. And had a couple of things I wanted to tell you guys. So you remember that we've been each week so far giving away a book, this book, The Plan A Diet from Sid Nodder. So I had this conversation with her like right after the live last week. She messaged me because she's sending these out to the winners. And originally when we talked about, she just said she wanted to do this, which is such a wonderful thing for her to do. She said, I will send out, if you pick 3 winners over time, then I will send out my book to them. So I was like, oh, that's so wonderful. So she saw y'all's response to it over the last couple of weeks, especially last week, because everybody was wanting it. And she said she changed her mind, and that she said, don't worry. She said, I'm gonna, I'll give out more. So we're gonna pick a winner right now for this Plan A diet, and this is from Sid Nodder and Brenda Burham. I know for at least 1 or 2 weeks you've been wanting this book because I saw your comments, because I can't see them. Well, I'm starting to see them now, but right away. And so I know you want this book. So Brenda Burham, if you will PM me your shipping address, I will get it to Sid, and Sid will get this book out to you. This is the faith-based book. Some of you who haven't tuned in before, it's a faith-based book. It's combining whole food plant-based nutrition with the timeless wisdom of Scripture. And Sid sent me one years ago, and this is actually mine. And so I love it, and she volunteered to give these away as prizes. So thank you, Sid. If you're on here, I hope that you are. And we will give away more of them later. We won't give them away every single week, but we will, you know, at least once a month until Sid says enough. We'll give them away. So we will also be giving away a coffee mug today with the logo on it. And I know 2 people this week have already ordered them. They are online. Actually, that's another link. My sister's helping me today. Can we show them you for just a second? Y'all want to see my sister? Come here, come here. This is my sister, Drenda Michelle. I call her Shelbo, and she helps me with all kinds of things technical. See, don't we look alike? We didn't look alike when we were younger, but now we do, and people actually think we're twins. So how cool is that? But she just lives down the road, and it's awesome having her here. So, and guess what? She is about to be a grandmother for the 8th time. Any day, her daughter Aya is expecting their 4th baby, a little girl. So if she jumps up and runs, it's just going to be me and you guys, because we're thinking the 4th baby will come fast.
Yeah.
We hope. Yeah, we hope. But anyway, back to the mugs. I've been shipping these out, and we're going to give one away in just a little bit. And we did figure out, if you don't, Shelby's going to put the link for it. Just go to my shop page.
Okay.
They're at the top on the shop page. They're $9, which isn't bad. The bad part, guys, and it just shocked me, is the shipping. It's ridiculous. The shipping cost me way more than the mug. So the ones that were given away, I've been taking them to the post office, and they weigh like 14 ounces. It's depending on where you are, it's $8 minimum to ship the mugs. And then it's more if you're a little further away. It's between $8 and $8.50. So that's the shipping. So that's the bad news. But the mug itself, I tried to keep very reasonable. So they're $9 plus the shipping. And the ones that we are sending out, of course, there's no shipping on that at all. We pay for the shipping. So we're going to choose somebody to win a mug. Don't let me forget to do that. All right, I'm going to take a peek and see what you guys are saying. We're getting ready to get started. Oh, Deanne would love the mug, and Leslie would love the mug. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see. Cindy, everybody would love the mug. Okay, we're going to choose just shortly, okay? But for right now, let's go ahead and get cranked up on this sauce, because it's so simple to make. And like I said, the link is going up, if it's probably already there, and there's 2 ways that you can make it. If you have a higher powered blender, a Vitamix, or another name brand that's a high powered blender, you can do it from start to finish in your blender. You never have to put it on the stove or anything, because these things heat up. You can make soup and stuff in them. They heat up. The motors are just big, and so it's enough power to activate the cornstarch or thickener. I'm going to use arrowroot powder today, but the thickener, it gets hot enough to activate that, so you don't have to put it on the stove. But I'm going to tell you both ways as we do this. So the recipe calls, and it yields like 2 cups finished. So the recipe calls for a half a cup of raw cashews. And I don't know if you can see these. I tend to buy these in pieces. And it might benefit a lot of you guys to buy it in pieces too. Because if you buy the whole ones, and you know you're going to be mostly using it in sauces, and you're going to have to break them down anyway, there's just more of a process of breaking down whole ones than buying the pieces. And I think buying the pieces is a little less expensive too. So I'm going to suggest you do that. If your blender is not a high-powered blender, you're going to probably want to soak them. I would just say it'd be a good idea. If your lower-powered blenders might have even a little tough time with these. So nuts are just hard, guys, and you know we use nuts on a plant-based diet a lot for sauces and things like that, even condiments and everything. So we're going to take these pieces, and if you need to soak yours, I suggest soaking them in warm water for at least 30 minutes. longer is better because it's going to help soften them and break them down. I know some people say they like to do that anyway because it releases more nutrients or something, but I think it's going to have plenty of nutrients in this sauce. So soak them if you want to, or if you need to, for at least 30 minutes. And then if not, we're just going to pour them into the blender. That's a ½ cup of cashews. Another thing we're going to be using is garlic. It says 4 large, probably, yeah, 4 large garlic cloves. So I'm sure we've got all different stages of cooks in here, probably some people who don't know their way around the kitchen at all. So I just want to be clear on a few things. So when you're using garlic, fresh garlic like this, a good way to get the cloves that are in here loosened up is to just, you know, tap it really good on your counter. It helps break it apart. And then you're going to have to start peeling this thing. I've already started doing the one I'm going to work on. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I've pulled some cloves out. And this is the tricky thing when we're talking about cloves. They come out in all different sizes. You may have some larger ones or smaller ones. So I would say, I don't even know how much 4 large clove teaspoons wise. I would say shoot for maybe, and another thing I'm going to tell you is I'm making a double batch. So now in my head I'm thinking 4 cloves is for 1 batch, so I'm going to need 8. But I don't know, a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, something like that. But you're going to have to take, of course, peel the cloves and get the little papery stuff off, and then toss them in here. While I'm doing that, I think I'm going to put 8 in. They're going to be different sizes, maybe 7, because some of these are bigger. But it really depends, too, on how much do you like garlic. I mean, this is not a real garlicky sauce, but I think the garlic definitely is a must. You don't want to leave it out, and if it feels like it doesn't have enough flavor, I think that's the place that I would look, would be to add more garlic. So I'm tossing some of these in here. And while I'm peeling these, I'm going to put them, maybe I need to stand over here so you can see them. While I'm getting this paper off of them and tossing them in, did you guys see where I went? I think I mentioned it last week, and then I've put things up since then. But I went Wednesday to Asheville, which is about an hour from me, to meet with Tim and Heather Kaufman of Fat Man Rants. We had such a good time. There was even another follower of theirs and mine, Deborah, and her husband that joined us. So we had 6 in our party, and we ended up going to, oh my gosh, Wild Ginger Noodle Bar in Asheville, and they had so many. I think it's a franchise, so some of you guys may have them in your area, but so many healthy vegan options. And I put up a little video of us eating in there, and so we got lots of delicious food. And then we went to the Asian market. They had an Asian market next door that I go to sometimes, and we all just piled in on that Asian market and had fun shopping together too. But one thing with Tim and Heather and Deborah and her husband, I was trying to think what her husband's name was. Can't think right now. It'll come to me in a minute. But so we were ordering our food, and the restaurant was pretty full. It's a small restaurant. But we were ordering our food and talking, and because we have been friends online and you know, Zoom and all that for a long time, but never actually got to meet because they live in Buffalo. So I knew it was somewhere cold because there's snow all the time when they are you know, communicating and putting up videos. If you don't follow them, you really should. Tim weighed 400 pounds. He weighed 400 pounds and was an addict, and he had pretty much given up on life because he had so many health problems. And he had a turnaround with plant-based nutrition, and now I think it's triathlons that he runs. He does crazy stuff. I mean, he does all kinds of crazy stuff, and he lost half of his body weight. Yeah, I think that's all the garlic we're going to do, guys. And Heather got on board, and so now they have a plant-based restaurant in Buffalo. But one thing that meant so much to me when we were in the restaurant on Wednesday, when our food came, guys, we actually sat in that restaurant and prayed together. Is that not the most awesome thing? I was just like, it just touched my heart so much that we were there together, and we're not just, you know, plant-based, but we're brothers and sisters in Christ too. So I was just, that just made my day, and I felt so much closer to them than I actually ever have before. So, but we're planning some stuff. Tim, he may or may not be on here, I'll look in a minute, or Heather, they were talking, they have these ready-made soups where you just, they ship them and you add water and stuff. He said they may be giving some away for us to give away to the Eat Plant-Based community group. So we don't have them and all that kind of stuff yet, but we were making some plans. He said, like Sid does with her book, that I could pick winners and they would ship some soups out to you. And I haven't even tried them, so I am so excited about that. We're going to make some more plans, and we'll do that. And we're going to work together a little bit in the coming weeks and months, I think. So I'll keep you posted on that. All right, so we've got the garlic in here. We've got the cashews. What's next? Plant milk. All right, I'm using almond milk. It's unsweetened almond milk. You're going to need a cup. This is 2 cups because, like I said, I'm making a double batch. And the reason I'm making a double batch is it freezes well, but we're going out of town next week. And I'm thinking, and we're staying in a cabin at the lake. And so and we're going to be eating all of our meals. They're only going to be there like 3 nights and 4 days. But I'm gonna freeze some of this and take it with us. And so then I can just make a little pasta and we will have a quick dinner, and there won't be a lot of cooking or anything. So if you want to make double and freeze it for later, it makes an easy meal come together real quickly. All right, so we've got our plant milk. I'm using almond milk. You could use soy milk, any kind of plant milk that you want.
Yes. Deanne wants to know if you make your own almond milk.
Sometimes I do. I didn't for this, but I do sometimes. And there's a recipe. Can you find it on there? We have a recipe for it. It's pretty simple to make. I'll be honest with you. Almond milk, you do have to strain it. You have to strain the nuts out of it. Cashew milk is easier to make because you don't have to strain it. This is a softer nut, and so there's no straining involved. But we have recipes for both. Actually, we have a recipe for soy milk because it's from Leanne Campbell. She shared it on the website. So we've got soy milk, almond milk, cashew milk to make your own if you want to. So just if you're buying your milk, just make sure you don't get the vanilla flavor for this. You don't want vanilla Alfredo. That just would be so gross. My husband would probably love it. He loves vanilla, but that just sounds nasty to me. I don't know about y'all, but I wouldn't want vanilla in my Alfredo. But yes, let me look real quick. Most definitely. I'm looking to see. Oh, you're welcome, Deanne. I guess that answered the question. Okay, good deal. All right, so we've got the plant milk in there, and we need a teaspoon of white wine vinegar. It's just vinegar. If you don't have white wine vinegar, because I know it's a little, some people may, especially if you're just now starting. I use this a fairly good bit, but if you're just getting started, you may not have it in your cabinet. You can use lemon juice if you want to in this. And I think it's a teaspoon, so I'm going to do like 1, 2-ish. So I'm eyeballing it. You guys measure. And when you get finished with yours, you taste it, and you can tweak some of these. If you need more of a tang to it, then you can add more of the vinegar. We need a teaspoon of onion powder. And like I said, this is 2 for me. That looks like about 2. All right. Onion powder and garlic powder. Teaspoon of garlic powder too. Well, that's a clump. But it's a clump, but it doesn't matter in this one because it's going to be spinning anyway. Nutritional yeast. Oh my goodness. Did I not get? Yes, I did. Okay. I couldn't see it. It's way back here behind. Nutritional yeast, for folks that are new, is not baking yeast. This is inactive yeast. This is not something you're going to make anything, cook with it. This is just for seasoning. It's inactive. It has a nutty, cheesy kind of a flavor to it. And in all the cheese sauces on my site, we use nutritional yeast. I'm going to tell you guys something that may be important to you because it was important to us, and it's not very well known. But nutritional yeast is good for you. We use it in a lot of things, and a number of years ago, my husband started having gout in his toe. And he had never had it before, and he didn't eat meat, the things that normally, you know, gout is associated with, dairy and meat and stuff. He didn't do any of that, so we couldn't figure out. He went to the doctor, he had to get medicine, he went through multiple bouts with it. He was having a hard time. And so we just were at a loss. And finally, I honestly think it was Brandy with the Vegan 8. If you guys follow her, she put up something saying that nutritional yeast has purine in it, and that it can be hard for people who maybe have trouble with gout, so go easy on it. So my husband does, we got rid of we didn't get rid of it. I was using nutritional yeast back then for everything. I put it on his popcorn and his grits in the morning with the cheese sauces on the pizza. He was eating it every day, and sure as shooting, when I decreased the amount that he was eating, he hasn't had another bout of gout, and that's been years ago. So if anybody in your husband or whoever has a problem with gout, go easy on the nutritional yeast. It's good for you, but it has purine in it, and it can contribute to gout. So just be aware of that. I have a link somewhere on the site. You don't have to put that one up, but you can Google it. It's just not well known. And a lot of plant-based people say, why am I dealing with this? It could be the nutritional yeast, just so you know. All right, so we've got a 1/4 cup.
Do you have Deborah's wondering if you have a recipe for oat milk. I don't see it.
I don't, Deborah. I don't have a recipe for oat milk, but wouldn't that seems like that one would be really easy. I haven't made it. I have not made it myself, but you wouldn't be dealing with nuts there too, so that might be, we'll have to check on that one. But I don't personally have a recipe for it, but I think oat milk would be so easy to make. You're not dealing with nuts and trying to get them, ground up, or you would have to strain it out. I don't know. Maybe you probably don't have to strain oat milk, because if you're processing it in your blender, that definitely would turn to liquid without the crunches and everything in it.
Eddie wants you to repeat the amount of milk that the recipe calls for.
Eddie, the milk is 1 cup. 1 cup. And I used 2 because I doubled, but it is 1 cup. And there is a link, so you guys can print this out if you want to too. So we've got onion powder, garlic powder. Okay, so now we need a little bit of salt. It says, I think you could do with like a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Cheese and things like that, when we're making the cheese recipes, regular cheese is very salty. So you can adjust that. I mean, you can try this, tweak it, taste of it as you're making it. If it needs a little more salt, add a little bit more. But we're adding a 1/4 teaspoon. But if you feel like it needs more after we blend it on yours, then you can do that. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper, just because I think it adds some flavor, but it's optional. You don't have to. But we are adding a little bit of pepper, and the only thing, I did add the white wine. Yeah, I did. I remember pouring it. So the only other thing left is cornstarch or arrowroot powder. Either one works, any kind of thickener. There's so many options. I think growing up, I only thought that there was cornstarch, but there's potato starch and arrowroot powder. If we go in the Asian market, there's all kinds of thickeners that you can use. I do use cornstarch, and I tend to go with arrowroot powder more than cornstarch, because when I am heating it up and adding it to a sauce in a saucepan, arrowroot just doesn't clump as much. And I know you can work with the cornstarch and it doesn't, and there's a method to it. But as far as ease, the arrowroot powder, and I know you're going to want to know how much, 3 tablespoons. This is more. I know you're saying to yourself, that's a lot more than 3 tablespoons, but it is. Again, I'm making double. We're going to give this thing, I'm going to make sure I got everything in here. That's it. I think I breathed in cornstarch or arrowroot powder. Okay, so then you're just going to blend it. Now, if you're making the Vitamix or the high-powered method, you're not going to have to do anything other than blend this. It should take a couple of minutes. I'm not going to run this for a couple of minutes. I'm going to run it for just a second to get it blended up, and then after we're not live anymore, I will blend it up the rest of the way. I do have some. I actually made this Alfredo sauce like, I don't know what day. It was like Thursday or Friday because we were having pasta and I made it. So I have some left over from that I'm going to show you what the consistency that it is and give you some ideas for adjusting the consistency if you want it. But if you're making it in just your blender, the thickener, the arrowroot powder or cornstarch will get activated within that 2 minutes, probably after 1 minute, and start thickening it up right in your blender. So you don't have to do anything else other than just pour it on your pasta. Or there's other options that we'll talk about in just a minute that you could use it for. But if you have a lower powered blender, you would blend this up. You would actually, yeah, you could go ahead. I was going to say maybe not put the cornstarch in yet, but it won't hurt a thing. Go ahead and put it in there, blend it up, but then you're going to have to put it in a saucepan on the stovetop and let it heat a little bit because cornstarch and thickeners require some heat to get activated to actually start thickening your soup or your sauce or whatever. And when it's thickening, there's a very small window of time. You can never leave it because it goes from being liquid to thick to too thick in no time, in seconds really. So you're going to need to just whisk it together and stay with it if you're putting it on their stovetop to thicken it until you get it to the right consistency. Take it off the heat and that deactivates the thickening process. So get it where you want it. If when you make this you mess up, whether it's in your Vitamix or whether you've poured it on your stovetop and you get it too thick, just add a splash or two of more of the plant milk and thin it out a little bit. It's not, if you get it too thick, it's not ruined. You can thin it out that way. And if you do it and it just doesn't seem to be getting thick enough for you, you want it to be thicker, add a little more cornstarch or arrowroot powder. I'm going to do this for just a second, just so it'll be blended a little bit. You guys, I'm going to show it to you and then I'm going to show you the finished product, but the nutritional yeast is kind of a yellow orangey, and that's the color that that this is going to be. So it's still very liquidy right now. It's about the consistency of the plant milk on its own. But if you blend it for 2 minutes, then it's going to, if it's a high-powered blender, you're going to want to blend it for 2 minutes no matter what. If you've got a low-powered blender, you're blending to crush up those cashews. If you have a high-powered one, you're really blending to activate the thickener. But at this point, after you've blended it for 2 minutes, you're finished if you've got a blender higher powered. And if you need to thicken it more, put it on the stove and let the cornstarch thicken up. So ways that you, let me show it to you first. So this is the consistency that we like it. Can you see that? It's not runny. It's not milk or water consistency. It's very creamy and thick. And we pour it over pasta, which is probably the most common use for Alfredo for folks. I'm going to get that out of my face so I can see you better. But other uses for it that I have done, pour it over baked potatoes. It's delicious. Over baked potatoes, over roasted vegetables. And see, right now, they are starting to come up on here.
You're kidding.
Nope. How many minutes? Wow. 20. I mean, yeah. So, yeah. So you can serve it over roasted vegetables or anything that you want to. Oh, over pizza. Drizzle it over pizza. That's another good option for it. So I get questions all the time about pasta because you can eat and are encouraged to even pasta on a plant-based diet. I know so many people are used to staying away from pasta if you're on a keto diet or something else, counting carbs, but not on a plant-based diet. But there are much healthier pastas than some. So I want to show you some of the ones that we use. if you're not gluten free, if you're not trying to stay away from gluten, and we're not gluten free, you know, like whole wheat, 100% whole wheat pastas are great. My husband isn't. Here's a hack. Here's a trick for you. If you have other family members that are eating what you make and they aren't, maybe they don't love whole wheat pasta. What I do sometimes is I mix them. I'll have brown, have the whole wheat pasta, and I may mix it with rice pasta or something else, so that it's enough for my husband to, you know, actually like it, and it's just a mix of them. And so you might need to do that for people in your family. But there are lots of other options. This one's been open. That's the reason it's in this. This is available at Costco. Maybe at Sam's too. I'm not sure. But it is gluten-free. It's millet and brown rice ramen. Pastas like this don't require as much time cooking them. So always read the package ingredients, especially if it's a new product. I think most of us grew up eating white pasta at home when you were young, and it takes like 15 minutes to cook that. So in your head, you may be thinking all pastas require that, and that's not true. If you're switching to a different kind of pasta, this one takes 3 minutes. 3 minutes to cook. So you don't want to overcook it. It gets mushy at that point, and that's pretty gross. So brown rice pasta this is one version of it. In my grocery store, and you don't have to have just long spaghetti-like pasta. My grocery store carries this brand, and I don't know how you say it. Tinkyada? I'm not sure. That looks like what it is. But it's brown rice pasta, and it's spiral. Again, this one, because it's rice, is not going to require a lot of cooking time. I'm trying to see how much time it does take. Well, you know what? It says 14 to 15 minutes. I don't cook it that long. But anyway, you can read your package directions and follow. Don't overcook pasta just because it just gets so nasty. Other options, we go to the Asian grocery store a lot. And these are other rice pastas that you can get. And these only have rice in them and salt and water. That's what they're made with. Oh wait, this one has tapioca starch in it. But that's it. Rice, tapioca starch, and water. And then this one, I'm going to have to turn it around to see what, I don't even see the ingredients. Maybe it's just rice. Ingredients. Oh, it's mango beans. I didn't even realize. This is a mango bean. This is the pack I got at the grocery store when I was with Tim and Heather and Deborah the other day. Starch and water, that's all that is in here. So these are healthy options. These would be gluten-free because they're rice pasta rather than wheat or another grain pasta. There's so many options. And then of course the 100%. This is just a no-name brand, but it's 100% whole wheat pasta. This would require more time cooking because whole wheat pastas normally do. I put up a recipe the other day for, it was a stir fry with udon noodles. Many grocery stores carry udon noodles. It's Japanese noodle. And it's not gluten-free though. It is made with wheat. I'm certain of it. But again, there's not much. It's wheat flour, salt, and water. That's all that's in here. Somebody on another group, I actually shared that recipe. It was an udon stir fry. It must have been a really strict group because they said that they didn't allow udon noodles to be used, and I really don't know why. That's kind of weird. I don't see anything that would cause a problem.
Donna wants to know, can you eat as much as you want of those pastas?
As much as you want. You want to get full. There's a bunch of different pastas that I have shown. You want to be full. They're not high in calories or anything like that. I mean, I wouldn't, within reason, you know, like I wouldn't like eat 2 packs of them or anything like that. But I eat until I'm full, and I am active, and so hopefully they are lower in calories for sure. So I would say eat until you're satisfied. But of course, with anything, you don't want to just eat continuously because they do have calories, but it's lower in calories. But that's a good question. All right, let me look and see what else I got here. Hang on just a second. Do any of you, I ask you, with the Alfredo sauce, can you think of anything else besides pasta, which is like what you normally think of, baked potato and pizza? What else could you maybe put it on?
Somebody said broccoli, which sounded like
Ooh, who said broccoli?
Denise
Said broccoli. That's a great idea. Steamed broccoli? Yeah, because it kind of has a cheesy flavor to it, and people put cheese on broccoli, you know, all the time. That is a great option for it. Donna says her husband loves udon noodles. You know, mine does too, Donna. And I love udon noodles. They just have a natural flavor to them that you don't have to add a lot of seasoning with. I've used them without adding much of anything, and they just are naturally a great flavor. So I think that that's true. Cauliflower, Beth, you're right. Beth Sheridan says cauliflower. I love that idea.
Bonnie says do spiralized zucchini or squash.
That's another good idea. Bonnie says spiralized zucchini or squash for your noodles. Somebody calls the zucchini noodles zoodles. I love that. But that's a really, really good idea. And that's good because you're getting in more vegetables that way too. It looks and it's served like pasta, but it's actually vegetables.
Sorry,
Cheryl.
Cheryl. Cheryl wants to know, do you have to use nutritional yeast? She said they're just not wild about it.
Yeah.
So she's wondering if there's anything besides nutritional yeast or if that's
Good
essential.
question. Who asked that one?
Cheryl Balls.
Cheryl. For the nutritional yeast, I think it adds so much flavor to this. But in the past, people have asked me about replacing what could you substitute for nutritional yeast in other recipes. I'm trying to think. Maybe it was the cheeses or something. I don't remember which one. But somebody had suggested miso, like miso paste, because it has a little bit of a salty flavor. I have not tried that. But it might be worth checking into or giving it a taste, giving it a trial to just kind of see if you like it. To me personally, and there are different brands of nutritional yeast, and I know some people swear by one, and then some people say they don't get fortified, and other people do get fortified. So it's just a preference thing, but it can taste a little bit different. So I don't know. You might even try, so that you could get the best of both worlds, maybe try cutting the nutritional yeast in half, and then put miso in there. I don't know, but it might be worth tinkering with, because I'm sure you could get it to the right flavor that, you know, that would taste good for you to use in recipes and stuff. So yes, I think that's a good idea. Oh, Diane, I brought your easy black bean corn salad to a family picnic, and it was a huge hit. Oh, that's awesome. In case anyone is on here, let me see what else she said. Looking for ideas for Labor Day. What a great idea, Diane. Yes, the black bean corn salad, there's actually 2 varieties on the website. All you have to do is go to the search bar on the website and type in black bean corn, and you can put them up if you wanted to, but there's 2. One is mine, and the other one is Kim Campbell's. It's from the Plant Pure Nation cookbook. She shared it with, I think she calls hers a salsa, but it's not blended like you would think of a tomato salsa. It's you know, it's whole beans and whole corn and everything, but they are both delicious. I've taken mine to a number of family get-togethers, and people love them. And you can make that and wrap it in a wrap, whether it's a lettuce wrap or tortilla wrap or something, and you eat it like a burrito too. So there's a lot of options for that, but that's a great idea. Thank you so much for mentioning that, because Labor Day is coming up. It's crazy. It's coming up quickly. Bonnie wants to know if you could use vegan Parmesan. You could. Do you mean you could use it to add to this, but as far as it being a replacer for the nutritional yeast, because I'm not sure if that's what you mean or not, the vegan Parmesan has nutritional yeast in it too. At least my recipe does, and I'm going to assume others may or may not, but it may be worth checking. You could Google it and see if you could find one. Donna. I love Kim Campbell. Her recipes are awesome. I have all her cookbooks. I love her too. She and I have emailed back and forth a few times just recently. They're moving to North Carolina. They're in the process of it right now, moving here, which I'm so excited about because they have some plans. I don't think I can share anything yet. It's kind of secret. Maybe, I don't want to say secret, some things that I don't need to be the one announcing it. But good things are coming to North Carolina. And I hope that we're going to talk about things. So anyway, but yeah, they're moving to North Carolina, and so be on the lookout. I'm hoping that I'll get to work with them some. And who knows, if they do fun things, then maybe some of you guys will come to North Carolina too. So you have all of her cookbooks too. Yeah, her cookbooks are amazing, and she's been so gracious to share some of her recipes from the cookbook on Eat Plant-Based and let us publish them. Mike wants to know if my husband is 100% compliant. No, just to be honest, he's not. In the beginning, he was 100% compliant, and he brought his cholesterol down from the 300s down to the 157, something like that. He's probably about 75% compliant now, but you know, I only cook plant-based, so the things that he gets that are not compliant is when he's eating out with friends and stuff. So, but yeah, good question. All right. Dr. Gregor and Jen Hawk are over there too. Do you mean in North Carolina? I don't know. I didn't know that Dr. Gregor might be. I guess I'm reading that right. I'm not sure. Good question though. Brenda says your easy vegan pasta salad is a great recipe to share at potluck. Oh, thank you guys for doing that. That's so sweet. Oh, that makes me reminds me too. If you would, these recipes that you're mentioning, and even the Alfredo sauce, would you sprinkle and water it? Because I just realized I said that word I'm not supposed to say on here. Isn't that crazy? But we're not supposed to say the S word. So if you guys would sprinkle or water these recipes with your family, friends, and on the plant-based community groups on Facebook, that would be so awesome. It helps us to grow. All right, I'm getting ready to give away the mug. How many? See, I keep saying I'm not going to go for an hour, and it's not been an hour. It's been 42 minutes, but I'm trying to get these shorter. I talk too much. I do. All right, so the coffee mug. We need to give away the coffee mug. All right, let me just look real quick. See, and all of these things that we ship, you have to be in the U.S., guys. And I found out that I can ship to Alaska for the same price, but not to Hawaii. So you have to be where the shipping's going to be reasonable, if you can call some of the shipping reasonable. But all right, so I'm going to go through here. I guess just let me see who are we going to pick. Oh, Denise says the black bean burgers are great too. Thank you so much. I'm hoping some of you guys tried the black bean burgers after we made them last week. Did you? Did anybody make them? And what did you think? Did the consistency come out the way that you wanted them to? Let's just see. I'm going through here. I'm going back. Let's see. Could it be used as a dip if thicker? Debbie, do you mean the Alfredo sauce? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It would almost be like a queso, I would think. I think that's a really good idea. You would certainly want to add a little more thickener, but not much, because you can, as this stuff chills, and if you are going to heat it up, it gets thicker too. So a little bit more thickener. That's a great idea. Hey, Debbie. Debbie, with your question about the thickener, Debbie, where are you? Carol is the last name. Are you in the U.S.? I'm just curious. If you're in the U.S., I'm going to give you this coffee cup. I've been mailing the coffee cup to folks with my chocolate mug cake recipe in it. I was using it for like a protector, like, you know, just stuffing it in there and then wrapping this with all the bubble wrap. And somebody this week, I think it was Diane Tutulin, I think, she sent me a picture. She got her coffee mug and she made the recipe that I sent, and she took a picture, and I put it up online. So thank you for doing that, Diane. And the coffee mug cake is so easy. It's an individual serving. It's chocolate. You make it all in here. This is the only dirty dish other than the fork to mix it up. So, did she say she was?
Debbie's in Georgia.
Okay.
And Donna wants to know how long the Alfredo sauce will last in the fridge.
Good question. Okay, first thing first. Okay, Debbie is in Georgia. So, Debbie, this is yours. I'm going to mail this to you. You PM me your mailing address, and I'm going to send this coffee mug to you in Georgia. And I will stuff the recipe for the coffee cake, or for the mug cake, in there too. And so what was the other one, Shaba? I lost my place. Oh.
How long it'll last.
Oh, how long it will last. Okay. Good question. The Alfredo sauce should last, like, I would say 7 or maybe even 10 days. You want to put it in an airtight container. Don't just put it in a bowl and put saran wrap or anything over it. Put it in an airtight container. Store it in the refrigerator for, I will say, 7 days, maybe even a little bit longer. And when you get it out and it's chilled, it's going to be thicker. So heat it up a little bit, and if it's still too thick after reheating it, put a splash of plant milk in there, mix it up real well, heat it up a little bit more, and it will be just like fresh. It should be great. And it freezes. Like I mentioned, I'm making this to take with us on vacation next week. So, yeah, you can freeze it too. But yes, definitely do that. Okay, I need to tell you, we're going to the lake and everything next week. So I won't be doing a live next Tuesday. Won't be doing a live because we won't be around. I probably will put up a couple of videos. We'll see. Put them up. But so that's that. So we're going to get back to lives the following Tuesday, which is September the 5th, right? I'm thinking. Yeah, September the 5th. And I've heard so many people, not a ton, but some people saying they can't join us on Tuesdays because we do it at 1 Eastern Standard Time and they're at work or whatever. So just for the next live, which is September the 5th, we're going to do it in the evening. I hope that means that some of you guys can still come. We're going to do it at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's not going to be a normal, regular thing. We're going to stick with our regular 1 p.m. time for right now, but I figured we'll do this to see if we can get some of those folks that want to join us live to be able to participate, and we'll just see. I mean, we'll see what kind of turnout we get, but so September the 5th, I'll put up an event. I don't know what we're going to be doing. I may think about that while we're on vacation and figure out, will we be cooking or what will we be doing? I'm not sure. But I will figure out what we're doing. I'll put up an event link, but it will be in the evening instead of in the afternoon. And so hopefully everybody will still get to come. Let me see what else we got here. I've gone back so far on all of these. I have no idea. What was the congrats for? Congrats. I'm not sure. Oh, just with maybe Kim Campbell. Oh, Donna says she can come at the evening time. Okay, awesome. I hope a lot of you can. I just figured it'll be real nice and fair for those who want to. I know you can go back anytime and watch the lives, but I think some of them just want to be here and interact with us, with the community that we're building. So let me make sure I've said everything. I think that's it. All right, so all right, I am so glad. Hey, we are finishing a little bit earlier than the hour, so that's good. Thank you guys so much. I just want to take a minute and say thank you, because I mean, there's so many faces up here that I can see that you guys are all on here, and so many questions and stuff, and I love building the community. I see you, Leslie. Thank you. I love that we're growing, and we definitely are growing, and thank you. Appreciate, and attending live is always your preference. I know it's more fun when we can talk back and forth, and I can see what you guys are asking and answering. Oh, and that's another thing. I do go back after this is over, at least that evening, and I do. If there's questions that you've asked me and I haven't seen them because I've been busy cooking, I will answer you. If I didn't answer it on live, then I will answer you. So leave your questions down there.
They were also asking about replays after live, that you can go back and watch it later. So.
Yes. Yeah, you can immediately, really, as soon as we quit this and we hit the finish button, it goes up as a replay on my Facebook page. So I would love it if y'all would sprinkle and water that too, because I think people, I mean, I put up recipes on my Facebook page all the time, but it's, you know, it's a picture and it's a link and all that kind of stuff. But people who don't follow or anything, I don't know, it's better. You know, I'm a visual person, and I love I love watching videos and things like that. So if you would sprinkle or water, you know, these lives, then help maybe grow our community even more. So, but yes, you can watch the replays within just a few minutes a few seconds after we finish up. So keep up the great. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. Thank you to all of you guys. Be looking for the next event to go up, and I'll figure out what we're going to do. I don't know. We may be cooking again. Do y'all want to cook? Leave me comments. Tell me what you want to do for the next live. Do you want a demo, or do you want to talk about meal planning, or do you want to talk about eating out in restaurants? Or there's just so many options that we could do. If there are things that are hanging you up, or you're having a lot of discussion with other people that say, oh, I can't go plant-based because whatever, let's talk about it. Let's talk about ways we can get around it. So y'all leave me comments that I can read, and we'll figure out what we're going to do for these upcoming lives that will be most helpful and beneficial for everybody. So, all right. Oh, thank you. That was a big thank you. Somebody put up a big emoji. Thank you. Label reading. Oh, we used to do that. Donna said label reading. We used to do that in the classes that I taught at the hospital. That's a huge one. So yeah, we definitely need to put that on the list. Okay. Shelby's putting it on the list. Oh gosh, here comes RoboCop. We named our vacuum cleaner RoboCop. She just turned on and she's going to come in here, so I got to get off. She's loud. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you September the 5th. Help us get the word out when that link goes up too. To sprinkle and water it, and maybe, you know, maybe we'll get a crazy bunch of people to join us for the evening live on September the 5th. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you September the 5th, and I will be putting up videos of our trip, so and Marley and all that good stuff. So all right, you guys take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.